Hello once again, fellow gaming fans, Small Archangel here. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Rising World Medieval Build and our final building project, which of course is our tavern or inn, which is starting to take shape. We've got some fairly crazy scaffolding going on here so that we can reach the roof. I've made the chimneys probably full height, but they might have to be a little bit higher than that actually, depending, because we're going to have a gable end roof there, which is going to go really quite high. So they're probably going to go, we're probably going to have to get up a little bit higher than that on the chimney there. But I was hurting myself enough jumping down from that as it was. I've also had a bit of a rethink, and we've placed another area around the back here, which is basically going to be our kitchen bar area. So that's a little bit of an extension. I'll show you that when we get through the front here. As you can see, we've got our portico here, which I think I finished in the last episode. And then, we've got a fireplace at either end there, and you can see where the floor is going to be above our head. It's not going to be a high ceiling, but that's kind of authentic anyway. But what we're probably going to have actually is a bit of a minstrel's gallery thing going around here. So we're going to have some inn rooms up there, at least 2 of them, of course, and we're going to have a minstrel's gallery, so kind of a walkway that goes at least across one side, probably this side here. And then a couple of inn rooms at the top there for people to stay in. So this is our kitchen area here. As you can see, it's pretty much finished. We've got a little window in each side, but that's all. I've got a little window above there for ventilation as well, and we're probably going to have a fireplace here for our kitchen fireplace, basically. So I'm going to have to build one of those there. But what I thought I might do, we've got a window there for ventilation, but what we'll probably do is have a double flue. So we'll have a flue going up either side of that window there, which I have seen before. It's a bit crazy, but it's going to be a fairly big fireplace here, I think. Because I quite like that window up there actually, but we're going to have some sort of fireplace there, aren't we, for our kitchen. And then what we'll have here is a kind of a counter across, most of it. We'll have a little opening at one side. We'll have a counter across so that bar and sort of kitchen staff and tavern staff are behind that and can serve patrons on this side, where we'll have lots of tables and chairs and things for people to sit at and chill out. So the first thing we're probably going to have to do today then, obviously, we've got all our timbering to do on the outside, and lucky old me is going to have to do all the beams on the inside and things. But what we're going to start off with is to see if we can put our gable ends in place here, and they're going to be big old gable ends. This is the biggest build we've done to date, and look at that. I need one of those down there as well. I haven't put these down very well, it has to be said. There we go. We can get up here. So I need... here, so we've got a slate roof on top. There we go. We've got a slate roof on top of our kitchen area over here, and it's going to be just the same here. But of course, we're going to have to just place this in steps like this. And at this point, just being a little bit cautious for my own health and well-being here. Okay, there we go. I think that is pretty much the full height of our roof there, and you can see the chimney carrying on up inside. Now what I'm not too sure of is whether we want that to be visible on the inside, whether we want it to be stone on the inside, or whether we just want that to be plaster. So I'm going to have a bit of a think about that. It perhaps does want to be just stone actually. It would be easier to take a little bit of that out, I guess, than to take all of that out. I think that is full height, but we might need our chimney to go yet higher, because our gable end is going to go all the way up to there and then some. So I'm going to have to take one of these out now so I can get back up there. There we are. But by my reckoning, our gable end is going to go up to here, and then it's going to meet about here. In other words, this chimney is going to need to be a couple of blocks higher still. There we go, that's pretty much it. And as you can see, because we've got the slight overhang on the front end of the inn, we have got slightly uneven roof line, but I don't think that's going to really matter. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. We could, if we wanted to, make the chimney a little bit narrower on one side, but I don't think it's really going to matter over much. So we're just going to see if we can make the roof without killing myself. That's always a challenge, really, when you're building up quite high. And trying to get to the opposite side of the roof is going to be entertaining as well, unless I can do this first. If I can build a bit of roof here, we could then use that to get further across. Phew! Finally, so that took really quite a lot of doing, and as you can see, the top part of the roof, just the way it works out, it has to be flat, but that's not that big a deal really. I'm not too worried about that. But I have made this part of the chimney too low. Or perhaps it's better that height. No, I think it does need to be a little bit higher, doesn't it, actually? So I'm going to have to make this bit of the chimney a block higher just to match that one. And I might finish the chimney stack off the same way as we did our smithy chimney, which is to say using some of the corner blocks that you can make. And we also need a couple of blocks here to finish this off. So some of the inner corner blocks is what we need there. So we're going to have to go back down our scaffolding to get that sorted out, but we should be able to do that now. The roof access, whoops, except that's quite difficult to do. And then our roof we can consider finished for the moment. As I say, the rest of it I'll deal with myself off camera with all the beams and stuff, because that takes really quite a long time. But let's see what we've got in here. We've got a bunch of those, so we're good to go. And then we do actually have some inner corner blocks already, so we should be able to finish this job off. And then move on to the next thing, which is going to be probably the floor, so that we can access the stairs and the floor, so that we can access the second story. Okay, there we go. So we've got a nice neat join there. Not that you can see it ever so well from here, but it works really quite well. Obviously we've got timbering to do, but before that I do want to start and sort out our second story access, because once I can get upstairs it's going to make my life a lot easier to sort out that roof. I'm going to need to line the inside of it, and I'm going to do that the same as I did this one, which is to say I'm going to line it with wood on the inside, and then we can put beams in like we have done there, because that looks pretty good. And then yeah, we want some flooring in here as well. I already know what blocks we want for flooring there. The second story, the roof goes up really quite high, but then so does this one, and once you've got the beams in, it looks pretty authentic really. So we're going to get on to that now. So what we need is some flooring beams, some flooring blocks, but we also need to work out where our stairs are going to go. And I think, to be honest, they probably need to go either side of our sort of bar area here. We probably want them going up and then coming out towards us a little bit, or yeah, possibly like that, just to make it up there. They don't need to be particularly steep, I don't think so. Maybe they need to go up from here and then across, but we'll experiment with that a little bit. Alright, so stairs. We're gonna want we want a kind of a minstrel's gallery going around the outside, and yeah, we want our stairs probably to be on this side rather than that side, because that's where all our windows are. So we shall try this and we'll see. I think we might need them to sort of start here, or to go up the wall and then perhaps come out towards us a little. Let's just see if we can make them start from here. Now that's going to be the floor block, so maybe I need to think about starting them here. They need to clear this. We need them not to get in the way of that, so we probably need them to go a block in front of this actually. Okay, so I think that's just about gonna reach. Oh, that is wanting to place itself through there for some reason, and obviously we're going to want this to be, oh blast it. Yes, sometimes the blocks are a little bit strange and they want to place themselves through a pre-existing block, so you end up replacing one block type with another, which is annoying, and that seems to mainly happen where you've got a wood beam. And I'm not quite sure why that happens, but it does. And then we're probably going to want to make these solid, although actually I might experiment with making them just kind of putting a ramp block on the back of them and see what that looks like. I think that might be quite good. And then I'll just make sure I'm doing the same thing the opposite side. So we're wanting to start halfway underneath the window like that and go up from there. Now, I quite like that, actually. I quite like the look of that, because that is, I don't know, we can put some posts in for support and what have you, and sort of look like banisters, and I think that is quite nice. I quite like that. I'm not quite sure if we want that to be, probably not, actually, because we're going to have our floor at that point, aren't we? So, but I'll deal with that later, I think. But I'm pretty sure our floor is going to be at that level. So let's get some floor now. We've got lots of these blocks. I've made tons of them. Chopped down lots of trees, just especially for the purpose. Now, as I say, we're going to have a minstrel's gallery type thing going around here. And it's going to go off in both directions over there, and perhaps not over that. I'm not sure if it's going to go all the way around, if we're just going to have rooms at either end. I'm not quite sure, but obviously with the stairs being here, that could make it a little bit difficult. I'm not quite sure how this is going to pan out. So we're going to, obviously we've got our stairs there, so let's just try putting floor in here like so and see how we go. Now, I don't think we're going to need that. Let's see how far, oops, over this way can we come without getting stuck on it. About that, I think. So that's good. Okay, so this is starting to take shape nicely now. So we've got the stairs, which kind of echo the slant of the roof in the kitchen block, which I quite like, actually. I think that's pretty good. But we now have to sort out whereabouts our walls are going to go up here and how we're going to divide this off. Now, I've blocked off the window there because it's above the stairs, and as such, I think it's in a bit of an awkward place. I don't think it's in the ideal position. So I'm going to just shut that off, and we may have to just have blank wall completely at the back there. If you remember, we've got a roof going up here from below, so we can't put a window there. And of course, this is going to be our hallway come landing area as well. Now, what we might have to do, because we're going to want this to be walled off as a different room, we're going to need a 2-block landing, or 2-block wide minstrel's gallery going around like this. There we go. That's 3 blocks there, but I don't want to make it as wide as that, so I might have to knock one of those out. Or maybe it's okay if it's wider here. We can put some benches there or something. That's fine. But then, yeah, we're going to have this wall. Either we can go to there, or we could go all the way to the stairs here, and then we can do that and have a cupboard. But actually, it might be better if we just do that, like so. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure. Let's block it out a bit differently on this side. So we're going to want our minstrel's gallery 2 blocks wide. There we go. And if we go to there, and if we were to ignore the fact of the stairs and just go all the way up to the stairs, we get a little bit more space on this side. And then we just wall in the stairs like that. And then we have a cupboard in this corner. Again, the windows on either side of the fireplace might have to go because they won't make much sense in a cupboard. Which means that we really don't have much in the way of window in here because there isn't a window at this end then. But there isn't a lot we can do about that. It's just the limitations of the way things are. And I'm going to use these rooms for sort of multiple beds. It's going to be more like dormitories than anything else, really. And I think, I don't know, do I prefer it like this or like that? It is difficult to say at this point because, I mean, what would I do with this extra bit of space here anyway? I'm not sure I know. So let's stick with a bit of extra bedroom space here. And I'm pretty sure Into the Period didn't have necessarily individual rooms anyway. And we're not able to divide this into individual rooms because, there we go, because we only have one fireplace in each in any case. So there we go. And then this back wall is just going to be another seating area kind of above above the main hall. So I might actually make it even one block wider, and then we can have some seating up there as well. But for the moment, I guess it would make the most sense to have a doorway opposite to our fireplace. There we are, because we're not going to be able to put anything directly in front of the fireplace anyway. Okay, there we go. And then we've got, as I say, a deep cupboard there, so we can put some shelves and things in it. Or maybe we should make it a little bit of a shallower cupboard and sort of place it, sort of the wall or the door to it there. And then the window is not blocked by it. Either way, that's the way that's going to go. So we'll take out the door in the middle here as well. And then I'd better build the walls up. Well, the walls look pretty huge and featureless at the moment, but they are, of course, going to feature some timbering. So we're going to have a timber, I think, at about the same level as our roof here. So we'll have a big old timber that goes across the top of the door frame there on both sides, which will look quite a lot better, sort of in that kind of style there. And then, yeah, in the actual rooms themselves, of course, we're going to have beams on the ceilings, and the roof is going to be lined out, so that's going to look a little bit less strange there as well. This is going to be a cupboard, so that is not the right block. This is going to be a cupboard, so we're just going to wall this in a little bit as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, about to there. And I might just fill in here as well. That is not quite what I meant there. So that it's wood on the inside. Since we've got quite a few floor blocks left over. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side as well with the other cupboard. And of course, we're going to need a railing around here as well. And I think probably the best thing to do with that is actually to 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Is actually going to be to make that ourselves out of beams. Although it's going to be a little bit labour intensive, that is probably going to be the best thing to do there. Alright, so this is pretty much, well, it's not done, not by a long chalk. Basically what I've done is I've just added some huge timbers across there. You can see some smaller timbers across the sides here. I haven't got that one to actually meet up, which is a little bit stupid, so I'm going to have to sort that out. And I've just fallen down the stairs because obviously we're going to need some sort of balustrade here. So I'm going to take that down to not quite its thinnest, and we're going to do vertical, and we're going to see if we can make something that resembles a rail around here. And it probably doesn't want to be quite that tall. The only trouble is we might not have a choice in the matter, because that's how high it has to be. That's probably about right, actually. It has to be that height, because without, unfortunately, yeah, it won't touch the ground if we do it another way. And if we build this without using grid, it could go horribly, horribly wrong. So, but we could leave the uprights a little bit proud of the horizontals like that. Now that's obviously too long, so I'm going to have to move it in a little bit like that. There we are. Now as it stands, that isn't going to be enough to stop us from falling down the stairs, but it might be quite nice if we could make some uprights as well. And these, I will see if we can now make these the right kind of length. Would be nice, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that, or if it's just going to want to clip through the wrong thing. A lot of the time it's the angle you're at, so it's possible that if we do this from beneath we'll have more success. Sort of like that, but it's still wanting to go through. I might have to do these. Yeah, I might have to do these with G off, which means that they're going to be nicely rustic and wonky and in random places. But I do want them to be the right length this time. There we go. That's not half bad. As it happens, I was able to use the design on the floor blocks to make sure that that was roughly even all the way around. So that's fab. So there we go. I will do something similar to construct banisters on our stairs as well. And also sort of a barrier here so that people, you know, don't fall down there, including myself. So that's pretty good. And then obviously we've got still a lot of work to do around here, like for example, well, the windows, and we're going to do that in the same kind of style as we've done the other ones, with a sort of a main upright in the middle, a larger upright in the middle, and smaller ones either side. And this we can do yep, like that. We can do this with grid on, like that, and then we have smaller ones either side. Oh, that's not in the right position at all. Get rid of that. Try again. Smaller ones either side, like that. And then, of course, we'll have a frame round there as well. But these windows are quite small, actually, so I might just have just 3 like that. And then I might have a horizontal as well, like that. That might look quite good. Or we could do, oh, that's not got in the right place either. How random. But we could do these completely crisscrossed, couldn't we? And the other thing, of course, is that we don't necessarily need to use all beams for this. We can get a wood window that already has the cross beam on it and then go from there. So that might be what I'll do here. But the last thing we're going to do this episode, we're just going to do a little bit of timbering on the outside. But as I say, most of that is going to be for me to do, because boy, does it ever take a long time. So we'll just reclaim these beams here. I'm going to eat the last of my bacon and drink the last of my water, so my character doesn't actually starve to death while I'm doing this. And then, yeah, we're gonna, this is starting to look nice. I do like the dark wood against the white. I'll put some more timbering inside as well to make that look like it kind of fits. And then, yeah, here we're going to need some timbering. So I'm going to go to upright. We need grid again. Obviously, we're going to want these to be, that is not what I meant to do. We're going to want these to be thicker, because these are going to be, and longer, because these are going to be our posts next to the door. And I'm not sure, should that go all the way up? It probably should go all the way up to our ceiling there. Yes, like that. Oh, do you know what? They're still a little bit wonky, aren't they? Slight fail. Let's try that again. This time straight. There we go. And we should probably have similar timbers either side of our windows, like this. So even though this bit of the house, this bit of the building is actually not plaster, it's not lath and plaster, it's still, oops, going to have timbers, preferably in the right location. There we go, like that. And possibly some timbers on the corners too. Probably, in fact. So let's do that as well. There we go. And then we're probably going to want some timbers going horizontally as well. like this. So let's try placing one here. We might have to do this in shorter sections. So let's just do that. This is not going to want to place otherwise. And then I'll probably want to put some timbers next to the windows or around the windows too. Bottom and top, but certainly bottom, like so. And the same with the top of the door frame. There we go. That resolves the problem with the wood timber there, just kind of going into it. That one is not very good, actually. I need to resolve that one because that one did not correctly place. Let's just see if we can do a better job of it now. Doesn't quite know where to put itself, this one. So that's what the bottom part of it is going to look like, just kind of like that. And then we're going to have timbering on the top half, of course, which is going to look fairly similar to the timbering we've got on our shops over there, on the apothecary, and on every other building as well. Only this time we've got a rather more extensive job to do. So I'm going to do some of that for the, off camera for the next episode. And then we're going to be able to sort of carry on and do the interior here. So in the next episode, we're basically going to be furnishing this place. So I'm planning on doing all the basic stuff, beams and timbering and what have you off camera. And then in the next episode, we're going to furnish our kitchen. We're going to furnish the common areas, the bedrooms and everything to make this place really look and function like a 14th, 15th century tavern. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know. Also, feel free to leave me your comments and your suggestions. And don't forget, last chance, if you want anybody or any place in the town naming after you, or indeed you want to name it full stop, then do let me know in the comments as well. So I hope you'll join me for the next episode, which may well be the last of this current series. And until then, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye-bye for now.